Yo, what is going on, guys? You might be asking yourself, yo, did you get fat? No. I had my wisdom teeth pulled out, all four of them. And I gotta be honest, it kind of feels like shit. Not even just like the pain, but just like looking in the mirror and just seeing a fat guy. It kind of hurts. Yeah, my face is just completely blown up. But something that I've been thinking about a little bit over the past 2 days is I've noticed that there's been a lot more resistance in my life and just a lot more doubt and uncertainty about the future. Now, to kind of share with you, I have I have a plan for the rest of this year, and I have some pretty lofty goals in terms of what I'm trying to achieve. And when I started, I was extremely enthusiastic. I felt like everything was possible. And I guess like most projects, I jumped straight in. And I'm pleased to report that I still feel enthusiastic, that I still feel like it's possible, and that I'm still extremely excited and ready for these next 6 months. But what I have noticed is that it's a little bit more difficult these days to it just takes more effort to garner the support that I need to give myself, like the encouragement. And I have a few habits that I think have actually really positively contributed to my steadiness in terms of like just my resolve to get stuff done. And I think if I didn't have these different, sorry, my like face is getting so swollen right now because I just used the antibacterial mouthwash, and yeah, it feels really weird. But I really do believe that if I hadn't implemented some of these habits, that I might not be where I am. So the habits that I'm gonna specifically talk about today are meditation and journaling. So, on the topic of meditation, I meditate every single morning, and I technically have it on my habit tracker to meditate every single night. Sometimes I don't, but I always start my day off with meditation. And that has been just so key for me in terms of getting a handle on my emotions early in the morning and being able to churn out work consistently until around 1 or 2 o'clock. Now, it goes a step further than that. It's not just about productivity, it also is just about mindset in general. So every morning I start off my day doing something that doesn't necessarily come as easily as like making a cup of coffee or, if I were to watch Netflix or something. All of my morning routine habits are they're rewarding, but they're difficult and they take time. It takes me about 12 minutes to meditate. It takes me somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 minutes to 45 minutes to journal. On days that I really want to write, it might take an hour to journal in the morning. And then my affirmations take roughly 15 minutes to write. And then I do the dishes as well. Not in this order. I usually start with affirmations and then journaling and then meditating, or I'll do the dishes if they're like really bothering me first, and then I'll do the rest. But the point is, like, my morning routine takes around an hour to an hour and 30 minutes every single day. And there are some times when I start my morning routine where I'm thinking that it would be really nice to just start, doing the work that I want to do. But it's all about discipline. And when I'm done with the morning routine, I'm usually very excited to jump into work and to finally get some stuff going for the day. So, yeah, by the time that I'm like actually getting started on work, it's usually around 7:40 in the morning, and I wake up at 6. So, yeah, I've already kind of taken care of most of the stuff that I wanted to get done for that day. And yeah, I mean, I think like when I look back in the past at at how I've responded at certain points in projects, I usually have fizzled out somewhere around like the 3 week mark, because when you're working, every day almost, working towards something, I should say, almost every day, the days can feel really long, and that can actually have an adverse effect on your perception of time. It can just slow things down and make it feel like less time is passing. So you might start letting your foot up off the gas thinking that you're, doing more than you really are. But if you actually look at the calendar, you'll realize that you've only worked for 3 weeks, not a month and a half. And that does have a huge impact on your psyche, because there's going to be times when you think that you've done more work than you have, and that's just kind of disheartening to see that you have it. I think I might have mentioned this in another video or in a podcast or in a blog. I don't even know, but there's an idea from one of the books that I was reading. I think it's like The Magic of Thinking Big. No, I've most likely mentioned this in another video, but it's Michael Hyatt's book, Your Best Year Ever. And one of the concepts that he talks about is just like reframing, how you feel about how much left there is to do before achieving something. And like he says, like, don't think about like how much more time there is to go, or like, how much there is left of a project. Think about how much you've already accomplished and just be grateful for that. And so the way I look at it is like, I've been working on this project now for over a month. Whew, feels good to say that. I'm pumped about it. And I'm getting to that point now where it's almost the point of no return, where it's just like with my morning routine. Like, it would be harder for me to stop doing my morning routine than it is for me to continue doing it, because it's now such a part of me and such a part of my day that without it, I feel like I'm not having as good of a day as I would like to. So it's a controllable. And like by doing the work and putting in the time and energy, I feel more like myself, which is a positive in my mind. Well, I think objectively a positive. But yeah, meditation definitely helps. Journaling also helps with emotion. And I think that's like the biggest takeaways for me, at least. It's like how much emotion gets in the way of you feeling like you're in the mindset that you need to be to do the hard work. You'll have moments throughout the day, I'm sure, where you don't feel as excited to do something because maybe you're bored, or maybe you're feeling like you're not as awake as you'd like to be. You didn't get as good a sleep as you'd like. But, the reality is, and, I hate to be the guy that has to say this like all the time. The reality is this: you're going to die no matter what. You can't control it unless you end your life, which obviously, don't do that. Don't be stupid. People love you. You are going to die though. And you can either live this life, like this cute little dog, passively waiting for someone to come rub your tummy, which is great. She has a good life actually, but you can either live life passively waiting for belly rubs, or you can, now she's staring at me, she's not happy with me today, or you can put in the time and the energy, the time that you have already. Like, you're not, you don't have to add time. You already have the time in the day. Like most people, and you hear this a lot, like if you're involved in the personal development space, most people say like you have the same 16 hours, right? And it's true, you kind of do, but if you decide like that you want to watch Netflix or you want to play video games, that's completely your call. But it's going to be very difficult if you're also trying to build a company. It's going to be very difficult if you're working on your relationship, if you're, trying to become somehow a better version of yourself. So I'm not saying it's bad. It's it's a different outcome. Like you're working towards a completely different outcome. You're optimizing for a different result. And if you just took like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours a day to work towards something, if you're taking like a class, for instance, like maybe you want to become a developer, or maybe you're reading a book, those are simple examples. There's a start and there's an end, right? It's very finite and it's very easy to gauge your progress. You could just put in like 30 minutes a day and not even worry about like the outcomes. Just like be consistent, and you'll eventually get to a point where the book will be done, the course will be done. Sorry, I keep looking over at my dog. She thinks I'm insane because I'm just holding my phone in front of my face. I think I'm insane for holding my phone in front of my face, but whatever. All right. My mouth really hurts, and I think I got the point that I wanted to get across in this video. So, on that note, I hope you guys are doing well, and we're all on this like little journey together, and it's pretty exciting actually, because we have so much in common and so many different things so many different ways that we can choose to spend our time. But yeah, we're just all we're all in our own little worlds, even though we're very connected. And sometimes I come out of my world because I'm very like isolated. Sometimes I come out of my world and I see other people in their little world, and I'm like, yo, good stuff. I'm glad. I really like to see people doing things that make them happy and excited. And I hope that I can enable you guys to do exciting and fun stuff, because it's a good feeling to see everyone living their best lives. All right. On that note, Nudie and I are going to go to sleep. Right, Nudie? Nudie, what's this? Hi. Okay. She's genuinely concerned. I really don't blame her. All right, you guys. We're signing off. See you in the next video.